We're coming up on the longest night of the year. The winter solstice is just days away, and because of stupid things we do with clocks twice a year, it's dark when you walk out to your car at 5 p.m. Now, as humans, we're not particularly well suited for the dark, but we are good at making tools. I'm Chris with Jerry'sOutdoorSports.com, and today we're talking about weapon lights. The dark makes everything more difficult, and if you've ever had to change a tire or a fan belt in the dead of night, you'll agree with me on that. Luckily, lights ease that pain, particularly when you hold them right, a lesson that was drilled into my head by my stepfather. But using a pistol-mounted light does require a slight shift of your grip, and you would probably rather learn that on the range than in the middle of the night when the average Denver citizen is shopping in your house to support their chosen habit. Personally, I'm rather fond of Steamlight, so there are a bunch of different really well-made lights out there, like of course Surefire, Nightstick has a few good ones, and even certain hardware chains are putting out some competent offerings right now. Now with my grip, my thumb generally lives right up alongside the frame, but if I'm trying to activate my light, my thumb's going to drop down just a little bit to hit that. Now that's taking a little bit of tension out of my supporting hand, and my shooting hand has to pick up some of that slack. Now when I'm not practiced at it, I'll notice that I'll pull shots a little bit to the left, so I try to stay in practice with this. Now I know the question will be posed, why not just use a flashlight in your offhand? And there are some techniques for using a flashlight with a pistol, like Harry's, FBI, and Temple Index, but this leaves you operating your handgun with one hand, which is suboptimal for people who haven't spent that much time single-handed shooting. And also, if you get woken up in the middle of the night, you have to be ready for a face-off with Florida Man, I'd rather not be fiddling with a flashlight in my hand while I'm trying to operate doorknobs and light switches in my phone. The whole point of having a weapon-mounted light is to figure out the idea of the commotion. If it's your roommate stumbling in from the bar or your kid sneaking back in from a party, you want to know about it. Now, be it a long gun or a handgun, when you're working in low or no light situations, there's a couple of considerations around tactics to be made. One of the first ones that I should mention is working corners. Now, if it was during the day or regular lighting conditions, I'd actually get back from it and use some distance to pie around the corner. Now, if I do that while using my light source, I'm going to get some splash back off of this wall here. And while it will blind me a little bit, more importantly, it's going to illuminate me to whatever I'm trying to figure out is out there. So when I'm using a light source like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up, get indexed on the wall, and then push the light source out forward so that you're getting that full spill on whatever area is interesting to you. Now, well, yeah, there is going to be an effect on your night vision off of backsplash off of this, but your eyes are already going to be adjusted to the intensity of your light source. There's a lot of interesting physiology that goes into this, like rhodopsin depletion, but that's way too in the weeds for a video like this. The next technique that I would suggest practicing is pulsing the light. Yeah, leaving the light on constantly can help with situational awareness and even proprioception, but it's also going to help whatever the problem is you're looking at. By pulsing it for just a second, your brain can collect an incredible amount of information and process it in that time. And if you pair it with a quick sidestep or movement, then you're going to get out of the area that just became very interesting because light came from it. Also, this is when you want all the lumens. Because if you get somebody in the face with a super bright high lumen light, it can absolutely wreck their brain and improve your standing even more. This is just a quick how and why intro into weapon-mounted lights. There's a lot more to be said on the subject, and I'll dive into that on further videos. It's just that I wanted to get this out while we're in the midst of the darkest season of the year. And it's always a good excuse to get out and get some night shooting anyway, but I will be waiting until it's not 28 degrees at night to do my next night shooting video. And as a parting thought, this is not just a general use flashlight. Don't pull this out when you're trying to help your friend find their lost contact. Anyway, I'm Chris with Jerry'sOutdoorSports.com, and I'll see you next time.